Yay, we've made it.
It's going down for ages then.
We thought we were going to have to start a new one again then, folks. Oh, lovely to see loads of people in the room. Hi, everybody.
Ah, yeah. Been waiting long.
Hi, Barbara. Yolanda. Hi, Tessie. Granny Prepper. Millie B. Gina. Mary. Break away the chains. Sorry, love. I think it's Charity. Hi, Leela.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
So, no singing from me this week.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, Anne, love. I'm Theo. Yes,
Shire fans.
An interesting week, really, isn't it?
Yeah. You think they were trying to kill us, wouldn't you?
Hope you all enjoyed yesterday's video.
Bit of controversy.
Yeah.
But it's only what they're telling us. Hidden in plain sight.
Hi to Clutter and Queen and Les. Yeah, it seems to be quite topical. There's quite a lot of people talking about it. Hi, Mother Wolf. Everybody's talking about it at the moment.
Barbara.
And the one guy, what's his name? Vorbs. Richard Vorbs. He's had, I don't know if a few of you watch Richard Vorbs. He's doing quite well at the moment. And he had a couple of guys on talking about the Constitution, the British Constitution, and should King Charles not uphold the British Constitution, then it will be a criminal act when he does his coronation. So if any of you are interested, Richard Vorbs' cover of trying to think of the name of the title of the video he did. It was yesterday's video, and there's a picture of King Charles, Prince Charles. He's not king yet, is he? And Klaus Schwab, both of them on the front cover of Richard Forbes' video, and it's really interesting the letter that they're actually sending to actually make sure that he sticks to the Constitution.
It was the...
Hi, Sassy. Hi, Leona. Hi, Shy fans.
Yeah, what was it? What does he say?
The Constitution.
No, his speech, when he makes his speech.
His coronation.
Yeah.
His acceptance speech.
Yeah. It's written by the government, and it should be written by
him or
the royalty,
his guys,
and not by the government.
If it's written by the government and stating the government powers, then it's a criminal act.
Yeah, the government shouldn't be involved in any of it. But we'll see. Come June, if we get that far.
Hi, Mary. Yeah, well, we got it wrong. It's actually May the 6th. We got the date wrong. His coronation is meant to be May the 6th. I've been corrected on it quite a few times, and I've seen it. So it's May the 6th.
I thought it was June. Fireworks going off already.
Oh, Theo's been helping Tessie with some rings.
We haven't done any cannon yet.
No.
We've done the test run, didn't
we? Yeah. But we're getting ready for it. I picked up 2 lots of potatoes, so we're most probably going to go with potatoes first, aren't we? Just to be sure.
Yeah, another bank holiday.
Who's Chuck? Sunak tried to involve Chuck in the NI protocol.
The Northern Ireland protocol.
So what's the implications of that?
Well, that's another mess that they got into, isn't it? Through Brexit and the Northern Ireland protocol and the Good Friday Agreement. The whole politics world is just upside down at the minute.
It's Crazy world. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear your first jar, Ping.
Yeah, me too. Be fabulous.
Yeah, we always love that sound when it comes out the water bath can.
We looked in some of our local shops yesterday
for
canning jars. Sometimes you can occasionally find one in a baking area. There'll be a kiln, a jar of some sort.
Yes, and we did receive them.
And we
thanks.
We found 2 quart jars, just under quart-size jars, didn't we? But they didn't have lids and rings. It was literally just a cap on it, and they were £3 each. So what's that? $3.60. But we did purchase them. We've just got them as extra jars should we need them, whether it be water bathing or whatever. So we're trying to build the collection up gradually. What was that? Did you receive me? Fabulous, Anne. Yeah, thank you so much, love. Yeah, fabulous. Received those. We've had some wonderful gifts. One lady sent me the rubber mats for the dehydrator. I got the muslin from yourself, which will be brilliant for when I come to use it and drain anything. And somebody sent me the magnet stick so I can take the lids out of the hot water when I've heated them up. And
easily pleased.
In with that comes a debubbling stick and a measure for the inch from the top. So, as well as some jars and the cannon book, we've had some fabulous gifts arrive. Absolutely amazing. So I've not disposed of the cardboard, and I'm trying to work out what kind of craft or something I can do with the cardboard. What does anyone else do with their cardboard? We've used some in the garden, and it's getting late in the season now to do that. So I'm looking for a couple of crafting ideas to use the cardboard rather than dispose of it. Any good ideas?
Oh, they've got kiln the jars in the range.
Oh, right, okay. We'll take a look in there, Anne, because we have one locally. So if you fancy taking me for a run out, we can go and have a look.
It was more than enough, Anne. You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't much.
No, that's fabulous. That's fabulous. And the use that they'll get, you know. And even if they stay in, so long as they're clean, I can use them. I've had one piece of muslin that I've been using for a long, long time. And other than that, obviously, the occasional tea towels being used in place. So to have proper muslin cloth and have them there brand new is absolutely fabulous. And so thank you so much. You paid under £3 with the lids. Well, that seems a good deal because those that I've put on the wish list, and it's so expensive. It's £17 for the 6 jars, and I appreciate how expensive they are. And it breaks down to something like £2.84, £2.83 per jar. So it's just, as you say, Anne, a tad under the £3. So if I can buy them singularly each time, you know, it's not much, but it just adds to my collection and I can pick them up that way.
Cardboard's good for attracting worms. Well, we do that with the raised beds. We put it in the raised beds and make our own compost and let it break down in the raised beds. Yeah,
that will be handy for the butter, Anne. It will be fabulous, thank you. What's Millie B saying? You could make a gardening journal cover with the cardboard. Yeah, book covers. Yeah. I saw a lady on one of the crafts and she cut her out into little heart shaped and glued on material and some rope. But then it's purchasing a glue gun, purchasing the material, purchasing the rope, and
you can buy a book for about
I do have bits and bobs in a craft box somewhere, so I might come up with something eventually. But some ideas are great. I reinforce my cardboard boxes, which have 6 sections, and use them as storage in my craft room. I did use one as a potato storage box, So I had the cardboard box, and then I cut another slice of cardboard and used it as a separator. So I'd keep the small potatoes on one side and the larger potatoes on the other. You know, it's just a cardboard box, but with the divider, and it was just more useful for me to be able to divide the size of the potatoes. 24 jars for £44.
They are expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, but great long term. It is. It's an investment. It totally is. Cardboard can be used for pressing flowers or crafts. My young uncle makes tents or houses.
Young child, not uncle.
My young uncle makes tents or houses.
Yeah, we all love making tents and sitting in the box. And even at Christmas, the kids would play with the boxes more than the toys. Sit them in the box and drag them around the floor.
Yeah, we used to do that. We cut it out and painted it, and we put string on and made him a Thomas the Tank Engine outfit and all kinds. We were always creative with the cardboard box, weren't we? Hi, Shelley.
WT-40 keeps the slugs from WD on the outer edge of your grow bags, keeps the slugs from climbing in. Try that around the raised beds. The only problem is they're already in there, though, aren't they?
No, yeah. You have to pick them out and pick them out and pick them out. So what's everyone else been looking at? What's everyone been up to? Anything political, anything fun, anything creative?
We went out a couple of days ago to Formby, didn't we?
Yeah, we did some charity shops in a place called Formby in Liverpool.
Just by Southport.
Yeah. We didn't find an awful lot.
You found a couple of jars. You found your...
I found my cup. It's covered in lipstick at the minute. I found a nice... Let me just try and wipe my lipstick off. Found a nice china cup for just 50p, and I'm enjoying using that. It's a bone china cup. I like to drink out of a china cup. For someone on a non-existent budget, I still have expensive tastes. And I found myself a cookery book. And it's quite thumbed through, quite tattered and torn, but it's such a wonderful book. Apparently it's from the 1960s.
50s or 60s.
50s or 60s, and it's by Allied Iron Founders Limited, and it's a book that would have come with a gas cooker appliance, and it's so wonderful. It's hard to show you it all. It's not showing up on the camera, but it gives you measurements, really old-fashioned recipes, what tools to use for the kitchen. It's an English book, so it discusses a little bit of water bathing, oven bottling, and basic recipes. But they're all on budget. And what I found really interesting was inside there was paper cut-out recipes, and they're really yellowed and aged. And I just found it so interesting. I thought it was lovely that this was somebody's personal book that they'd had for years, possibly, that had come with their cooker when they moved in. But there's some fabulous recipes, how to make a good stock, how to make good soups, game, poultry, different meals, cakes. But the one thing I did find really interesting was the measurements. So how much a heaped tablespoon was equal to in... I couldn't find the section then what the measurement was and different things related to it. But yeah, really interesting book, and I'm so glad we found it, and it cost just 50p.
Great way the chains has been making a coop for the ducks.
Oh, lovely.
2 duck coops.
And are they providing duck eggs for you?
Nice duck eggs.
Lovely. I like a duck egg.
Quite a few have been gardening.
It might have been Graham's, Anne.
It's been quite mild again this week, but we haven't had a chance to get out there, have we?
We've been busy, haven't we? One day after another, doing different things, having to go to different places.
And Danny's dehydrating peppers, celery, cucumbers, and zucchini, squash.
The dentist has finally agreed to take me on. I had a dentist appointment this week, so I'm in on Wednesday to get the broken teeth removed. Within a couple of weeks I should have my full smile back and be able to show you all my new pearly whites. So looking forward to that. It's only took nearly 2 years.
Shy Friends has been cleaning out a shed, defrosting the freezer.
Yeah. Spring cleaning, we call it, don't we? Getting it all ready.
Hi, Alan.
And the ducks are laying still. Brilliant. Yeah, and fabulous news. So I can't wait to get all the work done. What day were you in Formby? We went Friday this week. We go most weeks different days. What day did we go?
Was it Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday?
I'm trying to think where we are now.
Saturday. Wednesday, I think it was.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, Jan. We just did the main strip, didn't we? I think there were 7 or 8 charity shops. So we were just weaved across the road and went in and out of each one. Yeah. There wasn't a lot that we found, was there? We got one kilner jar, didn't we? Yeah. But it wasn't
a screw top.
It wasn't a screw top or a lid. It was a glass lid with plastic suction in. So we've decided to use it as a biscuit jar. It's had some use.
It's nearly empty.
It's nearly empty again now. We haven't fully discussed because I have to pay for it. So we're going to discuss all that on Friday. So Wednesday, sorry. I get a tooth out on Wednesday, so it might be a bridge. I don't think it'll be an implant on the NHS for the cost that I can afford because they're quite expensive, those.
One of 4 boys just had a crown put in for 1,800.
Yeah, it's extortionate. It really is extortionate.
Poundland sells jars.
Wow. Ellen's getting 3 dozen eggs a day now.
Wow.
Oh, I bet you're doing some lovely bacon then, aren't you? Wow.
It tastes a lot better, duck eggs.
What kind of things are you making with it, Ellen? Or do you do the glass eggs, or do you do anything like that with it? I'll keep my eye out for you in the future. Oh, that's lovely, Jan. Imagine someone coming up to us and saying hello, wallflowers. Or...
Hi, Lady Suda and the Morrigan. Yeah, we prefer duck eggs over chicken eggs.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely beautiful. And a nice stronger flavour to them. Yeah. Lovely. It was a replacement of a crown. The dentist asked when it was originally put in. He would know.
How would I know?
Does anyone know? Do the canning lids fit UK regular shop jars? I'm keen to find out. Do you know I haven't tried that. I'll try that out for you, Shelley, and see. And I'll see what jars, because you get 2 different sized.
I think the
lids,
rim is
obviously
a bit wide, a bit deeper, isn't it? Than on a normal jar. It's only like a little thin. But on the can
depends
jars,
which jars. Because you've got like the bolognese sauce jars and things like that. Some of them are thicker anyway. It depends if the ragu jars or different ones have thicker things on them, don't they? It depends which ones they are. I'll check it out for you, Shelley, and I'll see if I can find a particular jar that fits them or if it's suitable.
Yeah, much creamier.
God, I have 2 Choose one from lockdown. It is. It's proper expensive. I had to pay £23 just to be in there for 2 minutes for him to just look at it. Then I have to pay more for the next appointment, and then I'll have to pay each time as I go. But if that appointment was to be private, that would have cost me £85 just to be looked at, and then again for the next treatment. So for the basic work of just the front teeth, it would have cost over £3,000 and more to go private. Yeah, just couldn't do it. So I had to wait and wait and wait. As I say, it's been over 18 months, nearly 2 years now. I've adapted. I try not to open my mouth that wide, but sometimes you can't help it and I just forget. So, but to be able to just relax and be myself will be great.
Ellen said she's selling most of them.
I don't blame her. Yeah. What a perfect time to do it as well. I bet people are queuing up to get them.
Mars is flat. It's not the only thing.
Yeah, so is the rest of it. Absolutely flat earth vodka. Mr. Wallflowers hasn't got his t-shirt on, love, but he normally has his flat earth t-shirt on a Saturday.
The NHS don't take care of our teeth.
No.
You have to pay. If you're not working, they do.
Well, it depends, you know. Even some people on benefits will only get doctors NHS, but they won't get dentist NHS. It depends. There's different divisions. So, yeah. But Mr. Wallflowers works and we have to pay for treatment, so that's just the way it is. Who lives in Blackpool?
Ian and Julie.
Who? Julie. They lie to us about Mars. Globers claim Mars as a planet, and some flat earthers claim Mars as a light. It lies beyond the ice wall.
Who knows?
Who knows? None of us know, but you know.
We have our beliefs.
So what were you looking at, Mr. Wallflowers? You were looking at some of the stuff that we were talking about yesterday, weren't you?
A lot of it was about the World Government Summit that was going on in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, and the agenda, what they've got, the 2030 agenda, what they're trying to push on us for a complete global government. Loads of things. There was over 10,000 pages of documents, so just trying to find little bits of it is like a needle in the haystacks.
And what kind of things stood out?
Things that they were talking about. They had a discussion about the transition to a one world government. And this is what they're telling us. These are the things they're telling us. It's not like
been telling us for a long, long time. This one world government is an aim and a goal, and it's going to happen soon. We hope it doesn't, but we know that's the agenda.
Yeah. There's the 2030 plan, the 2050 plan, and the 2071 complete plan when it should all be in place. But I mean, we're not going to be around then, but it's going to be coming in slowly but surely over the next few years. That's it. The transition's already started.
Did anyone manage to take a look at the website I told you about? What was it?
The World Government Summit.
.org. Some of the really fantastical things, futuristic ideas, and what's on there that's going to be imposed, you know, from now to 20 years' time, to 30 years' time, to 50 years' time.
It was like a round circle with loads of other circles, and they would all have dates on, and you can click into each like circle of the dates with all the dots on, and click on each dot and see what's coming in. And
what did you think, Sharon, when you took a look? I think it's Sharon. Break away the chains. Yeah. What did you think when you took a look at the site? Were you absolutely gobsmacked? Were you shocked?
That's if you found that map the interactive map.
Mother Wolf said she couldn't find the interactive. You couldn't find the info you were talking about. So how did you get into it? How can you help people get into that?
It was loads of little drop downs that I clicked into, and then they ended up on this interactive map.
So that's what you have to look for. You have to look for the interactive map. You'll have to go through it step by step and put it in the description of that video from yesterday. Complete madness it is. Absolutely crazy.
And that's it. There was 10,000 pages of documents, so it's hard to find things. But the first thing that they were saying is it's going to be a huge shock for people. So they're not lying there.
Our sons are both working, J and B, and at this point I don't think they'd be prepared to move away, and Mr. Wallflowers and I wouldn't be prepared to move anywhere else either. The grass is not greener anywhere else at the moment, and it's not just this country that's on unstable ground, it's the whole world now, with this one world government being imminent. And I think we're in quite a good position where we are, don't you?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind living in Australia.
Well, thank you, though.
I'd love to live in Australia. But I didn't like the way the Australian government clamped down on everyone for the...
Oh, thank you, guys. You've rejoined for a month. Absolutely fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, the way Australia clamped down on everyone for the jab, and they wouldn't let anyone in, and everybody had to have it, and that was the thing that put me off Australia. But it is a nice country. I'd love to live there in normal circumstances.
Well, we'd have been living in America if it wasn't for me, wouldn't we? You wanted to move there in 99, didn't you?
Yeah. I would have loved to have lived in America.
You wanted to go to the Florida part, didn't
you? Yeah. Where the sun is. Hi, Bridget.
People saying, I want to
go. Australians have concentration camps for non-compliance.
We win. That's it, Alan. We win. Yeah.
Do you want us to have 4 jabs now? What for? What have you got to have another jab for?
See, this is all part of it. You know, if the WEF and the WHO take over and the sovereignty is gone, we'd just have to have injection after injection.
And you were already saying not the sovereignty of the whole country, but the sovereignty of the healthcare service. Well, thank you, Anne. Britain and Canada are signed over to the WEF.
I really
do.
Sorry,
it was the WHO, wasn't it?
It'll be a third-party group. I don't think it'll actually. Yeah, I think it'll be a mixture of the 2 groups and corporatocracy between them. You know, so all their input, and it'll be a mixed bag, and they'll be basically fed by these individual groups, like a government, like whips or like whatever you want to call it. This other group will be the representation on the front face of all of that. Yeah.
And that's what he's saying. He was signed over the health sovereignty, so whatever they say goes. So if they say this pandemic's coming and everyone's got to be jabbed or everyone's got to be locked away, every government's got to do it then because they've said it.
I do think we'll be first, Dan. You know, with the coronation of our king due in just a number of months, and the way everything's going and the way we're being tested first before everyone else, I really do have a strong feeling it'll be us first. Yeah.
Neil McCoy-Ward was talking about it the other day.
He did a wonderful video, and it was from Neil McCoy Ward that we saw the website that we've been asking people to take a look at with the futuristic stuff on, and his video is absolutely wonderful. As I say, I had been planning to do that video and discussing it with Mr. Wallflowers for
a few months.
And I didn't really know how to approach it or whatever, especially with the nasty messages we've been getting about different things anyway. And I didn't know how to address it. And when I saw that Neil had done his, and he'd covered quite a few sections that I wanted to cover anyway, I thought, well, get it done now or I'm not going to do it, really, you know. And I cover some topics of my own and some bits of information of my own. Obviously we share information because we're looking at the same things, you know what I mean? But it was really interesting to watch his video. And of course Richard Vorbes, the way he's covering it from the constitutional angle and different things as well, you know, bringing in guests and stuff.
There are a few trying to get it out there.
There are a few covering it, and I just felt if I left it and I didn't cover it, I'd kick myself, really, because it's something I did want to cover. But yeah, there's some interesting people doing really good videos at the moment, and you know, to shy away because people mightn't agree with us or call us conspiracy theorists or to do different things, it's really not a valid excuse anymore, because things are coming true every day, and to live the way we're living, it is dystopian, it is crazy, and there are a lot of things going on. And to shy away from discussing our thought process towards what's going on and what information we're being drip fed from different areas and how we're actually working that out in our own mindset, we can come together in a group and we can discuss it. Whether we agree or we disagree, we can discuss it, and we're not lonely. Mr. Wallflowers and I mightn't agree on the same concept, but we can enjoy the debate and enjoy the conversation of it. And I think, well, do you think they might be doing this, or do you think that might happen, or this might happen? And now we can do it in a larger group. And other people, you know, what the thing about the two King Charleses, you know, King Charles I and King Charles II, when I'd read a bit about their history and how they had disbanded government, really, dissolved government, that was a big trigger point for me, reading that information. And well, obviously he's going to do that at some point. He's going to dissolve government. Now, when you put that in perspective with the one world government coming and everything else that's going on, yeah, it just seems it's going to be us first, and it just seems everything's got into place.
So the president can sign it, but you'd have the right to reject it. Same here. I mean, the Prime Minister can sign it, but the Commons have got the right to reject it, but it's whether they will or not. Well done, Anne. No more guinea pigs.
I say a friend of mine had all the injections, and she's decided now to no longer have it. And after each and every one, she was really ill, you know. And she said she's not going to have the next ones if they come about.
A lot of people saying.
Yeah, and we're all still getting sent the text messages about having the flu jab and having the next this and the next that.
Bad news will come with King Charles. Yeah.
See, the thing is,
Hi, Pam.
the constitutional guys are saying, see, King Charles or any monarch in the UK is supposed to be for the people and not for the government. So if the government put legislation in place, whatever, it has to go up through the House of Commons, up through the law system, and then it has to reach the king. And if that's hindering, or dangerous, or impinging on the freedom of the people and our rights, the king is lawfully obliged to reject that. And the Queen was as well lawfully obliged to reject that. And unfortunately, the Queen wasn't rejecting things that were impinged. She never upheld her legal constitution as the monarch and what she promised to do at a coronation. So this is why it's brought into question now what his official statement will be at his coronation. Is he going to agree to be the true monarch, to stand up for the people, Or is he actually going to make a statement to say he's for the government? There's legal terms and things like that that I can't really remember the words to it, but it's which way he is going to go. Now, if he goes the opposite way, he's already sold out our sovereignty, and it means the governments are then top dog, and
the royalty at the
they
top.
make the rules.
And if he gives over power to government, then there's a lot of implications and legal stuff that can happen.
See, we can question their involvement with people like Jimmy Savile. We can question their family members and their
Epstein,
paedophilia
friendship.
tendencies, and we don't have to like these people, but what we need to do, we need to say, well, what's in the interest of the people? We're not supporting him as a person, it's his role as the monarch. Now, it can be quite dangerous for us to say, well, this is an excuse to get rid of the monarchy. I don't support the monarchy. None of us have, support the monarchy here. But we're in a dangerous position now. If the monarchy uphold their role that they're supposed to do and the common law and be what they're meant to be, then that's going to protect us as the people. If that's sold out and given to the government and then handed over to WEF and the WHO and people like that, we're enslaved. We're enslaved. It's a dangerous position that we find ourselves in. It really is.
So who knows what's going to come?
We are pure bloods, Tessie. That's a fabulous saying. Yeah. We haven't had them with no intentions.
They're not going to tell us on the news, are they?
They do, Theo, and that's a sad fact, and they're sitting on such fortunes and amounts of gold and wherever. But as I say, Queen Elizabeth didn't uphold her duty as a monarch. And that's the worst case, Hong Kong in the 60s, Canada in the 60s, and different things that went on.
Yeah, they're asking for unvaccinated blood now. Asking for people to go and give blood.
We heard that would be in great demand because it's not infected, it's pure blood. And people that donate will actually be paid for it in the future because it is pure blood.
And they're even asking for people who have never had COVID to go and do tests, and as if you're going to do that.
What it is about the daughter he had with her, Camilla, I don't know. There's so many rabbit holes to go down to Bridget, whether they both have had previous children before they were married, who's who, what's going on. I really don't know. There's lots of theories whether
tell us anyway.
another rabbit hole, but is Harry actually a male? It was Harry born female, and what's his wife called?
Meghan.
Is Meghan actually born male? And they M2F, F2Ms, and there's so many rabbit holes to go down. It's just Hewitt's so highly questionable. And yes, the likelihood that he's James Hewitt's son rather than Charles's son, and how similar he looks. And I really don't pay a lot of attention to it, but some you just can't miss when you're on pages like Facebook, etc., or you're just browsing through YouTube. You're just smacked in the face with a lot of it, aren't you? Which bit's insane? Mum of 4 boys. It's all insane. What's that song? Insane in the membrane.
So, what else were they saying? They were saying that it's going to be a huge shock for people And he said the media will be used for this transition. This is all before 2030, in the run up to 2030. Media will be used for the transition. So CNN were there, CNBC, BBC, the UN were there, the IMF, the World Bank, and the WHO. And Schwab said he wants to head it up first to get it all started in the next couple of years. And then he wants to bring in Trudeau, Macron, and Newsom. And we didn't know who Newsom was, so we found out he's the California governor. He's been the governor of California for the last few years. But Schwab wants to bring them three in so that when Schwab dies in the next couple of years, because he's getting on now, isn't he? Them three can see it through.
Yeah, but it's never, it's like watching a murder mystery or something like that. It's never the ones that they push forward at the beginning. They're just merely suggestions, so it wouldn't be them. You know,
yeah, he was saying they're the three main ones that he
wants
to bring in with him to see it, to start it up.
There'll be a twist and someone else will be brought forward, is what I mean.
Rishi.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Snake with the how many heads?
Next thing will be cameras on your head walking around like robots. Funny you should say that, guys. That's what they were talking about.
I thought I haven't heard that one.
They were saying things that will happen before 2030 was mass migration. And they were saying what you've seen so far, we haven't seen anything yet with all the migrants that are leaving the Middle East, South America, and going up to America. And they're saying we haven't seen anything yet, and yet the country's
on its knees.
Yeah. They were saying mass layoffs due to AI. 50% of the population will be laid off.
So that's 50% of everyone out of work.
Because of the robots and the computers.
That's back to what I was saying about the teleportation and the delivery of stock or parcels or anything. I mean, that's you out of work. That's you out of work, driving on the road, delivering your whatever. That's you out of work, isn't it? So we don't get any pay. We don't get any.
Well, they'll give you the token pay, won't they, just to stay at home?
Well, so what's that? The universal benefit, isn't it?
Yeah.
When people first discussed universal benefit, people thought it was actually unemployment benefits or something related to that. But universal benefit was an income that everybody would receive, not unemployed people. Everybody would receive, and that'll be the universal benefit, the minimum of what you get to live off.
And that's what they said. You own nothing, and you'll be happy. Will.
So then we were told. We had the Georgia Guidestones, didn't we? And there was different things listed on the Georgia Guidestones, and it was basically it'd be imperative that we help volunteer, or the priority wasn't ourselves but to the society, us as a citizen providing for the society. I can't remember the exact words, but that was the implication. So we only counted if we were benefiting the whole. So that implies voluntary work, working in the community, etc. So if that meant we had to work in the nuclear plants or the fuel plants in order to keep it going for the whole of society, would we be paid a universal benefit? So a basic wage that everyone's given on, and yet we'd have to go to work in these nuclear plants or whatever as a voluntary commitment of our community and to the whole. So you're working for basically free. I'm living off a minimum wage.
I mean, they tried it
and that'd
years ago over here.
That'd have to be in your 15-minute sissy. So in your 15-minute sissy, there'll be a nuclear plant that you go to work to, or some kind of fuel company set up, or industry. Energy. Yeah.
Or Amazon.
Or riding the bloody bike to produce the energy, whatever it is. What's everyone's thoughts on that? What I've just explained, did that make sense?
So they don't want us coming out of our areas, just stay in your own area.
I meant to ask Tessie, have you had some of this white dust snow that people have been talking about? Is that coming down in your area? I watched a video by Idaho Hillbilly. I saw his link on your page a short while ago, and I've been watching his videos as well. Oh wait, it mightn't have been him that mentioned it. It might have been someone else, but I have been watching him as well. Someone was saying about a snow dust powder that's been falling from the sky. And although it's a short while away from where the incident took place in Ohio, the saying is an impact from what happened 2 weeks or so after, or is it something else? But I believe you're all having warnings not to touch this powdery snow. And is anyone here having that fall in their area? I was worried about you, Tessie, in case it's fallen in your area.
Some said it smelled like chlorine, but she didn't smell it.
I saw one guy, I can't think what he's called, Prepper somebody, and he said it smelled like bleach. Yeah. I'm planning to get across the areas to show how heavily built on this.
Well, how far, wasn't there an explosion at a steel plant in Ohio as well a couple of days ago? How far away was that from the train crash? It seems to be Ohio's being targeted as well as the UK.
I saw somebody dissolve it and it went to liquid, like water. And then you could still see flakes of it, actually. The bulk of it dissolved, and you could still see flakes of it.
But that's the bit you can see. What's the bits that you can't see?
Yeah, it was so thin, almost nothing. Crazy. Because you had warnings not to touch it, didn't you? Whether it could chemically burn you or damage you.
And if the birds and the fish are dying, that's a good indication.
And where's New England? Prepping for the Ages, is that in the same area? I'm not familiar with all the names. I do apologise, all the areas.
I know a little bit, but not much of the areas. Some of them went down in Kentucky as well.
Right before people saw the dust. But as this guy says, a small plane wouldn't contain enough space to actually sprinkle this layer all over the area that it's been, would it? Does that make sense?
It's the eastern Atlantic. So it's round about the same area. They're in the same.
Remember Oobleck, or is it my extreme age? Oobleck. I've not heard of that, sorry. The air brought in only a little.
That's it. Once it's in the air, though, there's no barriers, there's no borders that can go in.
See, I heard someone else recently, a friend of mine, on his videos, Frank, and he's saying plastics are being sprayed in the chemtrails. More and more people are having coughs, etc. And he believes we're all being forced to breathe in some kind of plastics that are being chemtrailed at the moment. And I was wondering, did anyone feel that those snowflakes or snow dust was related to a chemical spraying, possibly plastic related? Frank's a pureblood as well, and he suggested, although most of us refused injections and to wear masks at the time, maybe with what's happening now, should we actually be the ones that are wearing the masks right now? I don't know, it's a tough one, isn't it? so. It was strange. I'm not sure exactly what it was. People say it was that, but who knows? It's guesswork when we don't know. I appreciate that. Lots of prayers from Little Texas. One Ricky Hatton. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just one thing after another, and when we haven't got the answers, it just builds up to a bizarre picture and a bizarre pattern of not knowing. That's the scariest part, isn't it?
What?
The not knowing what this dust is, the not knowing what these actions are and what's going on. I was saying about Frank suggesting that plastics are being sprayed in the air, and he's saying, we refuse to wear masks, we refuse to have the injections. Maybe we should be the ones that are actually saying wear the masks now. Do you know what I mean? And, it's a big turnaround.
It's all done by design.
Right, correct, because you don't have proof and you're not sure exactly what it is. You just know there's some strange things going on and there's no real explanation for it.
And it's going on everywhere, all over the world. Some strange things.
Oh, I didn't hear that, Anne. So Anne's saying, I found it strange the fire department set fire to it. And did it ignite, Anne? Did it go off? Was it flammable? What about well water? I have city water. 2 summers ago, my husband and I were working on opposite sides of our property. Metallic taste in our mouth.
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're spraying up there.
Cheap babysitter, Bridget. She's saying the dogs have fell asleep to my voice. Frugal Jane messaged us earlier, Frugal Queen of France, sorry. And she said she normally listens in, but she falls asleep. So she said the same concept.
She said she listens in, but she normally falls asleep.
You're still awake, Jane? Yes, Betsy, but I do not fear. I have peace that will be. Exactly. We win in the end, Tessie. We win in the end. Thank goodness I'm alive, drunk and sound. If it looks like an elephant, it's an elephant.
Every time it happens, you fall asleep.
They call me the dog whisperer. They don't.
That can be our new line. You could do tapes. Stories for dogs.
Dogs and people. Well, that's what Frugal Queen of France put before, didn't she? She falls asleep listening. What else was on the list? What have you not mentioned that was the things they were chucking out that you spotted?
The mass layoffs, 50% of the population. They also said there's going to be mass social unrest as well, especially in the cities.
So we're going to have all these 15-minute cities once they're...
That's what they want. They want people to rise up and be out rioting so they can clamp down on us, and it's an excuse then to keep everybody inside then, isn't it? Bring in new laws, martial law. You can't go out.
So how do we do it cleverly? This is the thing. How are we going to oppose certain things cleverly without rioting, being on the streets, being arrested, without allowing people to smash properties and shops and the nonsense that's created around us by instigators, without allowing all that? I will say this, I feel we're living in an exciting time. Bad times, yes, but I do feel we're living in the end times, and the Lord placed us here for this time. Yeah, we were sent for a reason. We were chosen for a reason.
It's our duty.
It is. When we were on the fracking sites, this used to be the mentality of us opposing at the frack sites. And this is something I truly believe, Tessie, that we were chosen for a reason. We volunteered for a reason, and we're here for a reason, you know, and we do win. Yeah, I completely agree. But we need to remember what the plan was and what we needed to do whilst we were here.
And what's the fracking like now over in Pennsylvania? Is it still happening, or how's your water and stuff with that as well?
Tessie got goosebumps when I said that.
So I've been sneezing a lot lately and runny nose.
Fracking is bad. What's happening with it, Tessie? Are they upping the game? Are they doing more and more well pads, more and more boils?
And did your energy bills come down when you...
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Because that was the big promise we were promised. If we have this fracking, our energy prices will come down because it's on our own doorstep.
That's all we can do, but it's the positivity. We can't be aggressive. We don't need to be out encouraging all other people and allowing instigators to ruin things on our behalf. It's keeping the positivity up. It's keeping us all on a frequency and not living in fear, not living in the frequency that's being pressed and pressed and pressed against us. You know, it's looking for real food, preserving real food, eating real food, exercising, keeping going, sustaining our homes, looking after each other, keeping each other on that level where we can stay up on a positive note and be positive about stuff.
You said the energy bills are even higher.
We do need to, yeah, completely.
We do need to speak up, but nobody's listening. They're not bothered about our voice.
We need to talk to each other, and then we need to do whatever. As I say, on the Richard Vorbes video, the people who are fighting the Constitution for the King Charles thing here in the UK, they've printed a legal format letter that they want us all to send to our MPs and that. And some can be negative and say these things don't work, but when it's classed as a legal document, somehow we've got to have hope that that goes through the right channels. So, you know, yes, we need to speak up, and it's how we address these things on a positive note. We keep polite, we don't keep aggressive, but we don't stop. We stay persistent, but we do it polite and well-mannered. And how do we go about it? Whether we're in the UK, whether in America, Australia, Canada, whatever, how do we go about addressing certain issues, who to contact, who to approach, and what to do on any issue in particular. Okay. I've always sent emails and letters if there's certain things that I feel is a company, is somebody that I can send a direct message to. If I can phone a company in question and get a log number for making a complaint or whatever, you know, I've always done things like that, you know, and get it registered that I don't agree with certain things. So it's okay, Patricia, saying who listens. But the thing is, if we take a log number or whatever, it's in the system. What are we going to do otherwise? We're not going to go out and fight on the streets. I'm not going to be a sheep and be furrowed down this lane and then told to turn around because someone's put themselves in leadership position just to tour me all around the streets, and I don't know the outcome or the result of that while other instigators are causing damage. I'm not going to do that. So what else are we going to do? I'm willing to listen to suggestions. You know, it's all very well saying no one listens, but are we not going to do anything because we think no one's going to listen, or are we going to try anyway? What else does anyone suggest? What else could we do?
Bridget only needs 17 subscribers to get to 200 for her channel.
Oh, I've subscribed to Bridget. Yeah.
If anyone can go and have a look at BCTV.
On a different videographer.
Yeah. Just give it
how many do you need, Bridget?
17.
17 to reach 200. God, you've picked up quick then, because I remember when I joined, I think you were on about 17, or was it more than that? Might have been more than that.
It wasn't as much as nearly 200.
Yeah, I subscribed a couple of months ago. You've done well there, Bridget, picking up to 200. Took me a long time to get to 200. Can't have faith if you live in fear. Exactly, Denise. Exactly. The more we fill our mind with negativity and fear, the less space we've got for the positivity and to keep fighting.
So we just hit them in the pocket. As soon as they start losing money, that's when they start to listen. And if enough of us do it. Thanks, Stephen.
Great channel, Miss Wolf. Your voices are much appreciated. That's lovely, Stephen. Thank you so much. They will listen when it affects them. Well, this does. Everything is affecting us directly. It's hitting us in the pocket. It's hitting us in the mouth. It's hitting us in the stomach. It's hitting us in the heart. It's hitting us everywhere. Everything's affecting all of us. So please do watch Richard's videos. I've been watching him for a while, and he has some interesting guests, and he's covering some really good topics. Yeah, I shared one of his videos a while ago on the community page as well. Yeah.
Oh, Gaz has only got 2. Have a look at Gaz's channel as well. Another thing that we come across the other day, affecting Canada.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
The Canadian government discussing...
Who here is from Canada?
The Canadian government are discussing bringing in a bill called the C-18, known as the Online News Act. And Google is testing it out now on around 4% of the Canadian population, which will only roll out on a bigger scale soon if it gets passed. So what it means is Canadians will be restricted to certain news stories in their own country on the internet. So journalists in Canada have been saying they've been searching for different news stories on Google that are happening now in Canada, and they're being denied. Nothing's coming up about it. So they're censoring the news. So they had to go on other search engines and search up for the same thing, what they were looking for on Google, and then it come up. So it's Google and the Canadian government, but it's probably not just going to be Google in the end. If it gets passed, it's going to be the whole of the internet.
Well, it'll be all of us, won't it? That will be the test pilot, but they've done it in Canada this time.
To look for, then you're not going to find it. So
what was it called?
It's called the C-18 bill. It's otherwise known as the Online News Act.
See, Balmoral 1953 knows about it. They're in Canada. Yes, Google has decided to partially block access to some news stories. In the end, I always take the news with a grain of salt. As far as I'm concerned, it's all managed. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, the news on the telly and stuff, but
we don't watch main
independent news.
But every now and again, we'll purposely watch it to see what they're saying and how they're reacting. And
see how the programming is.
Yeah. And we're looking at certain things on purpose, not because we're programmed to.
But it's a dangerous thing if you can't find out anything what's going on. Like the train crash in Ohio the other day, how long did that take to come out?
They weren't going to
still not being reported fully.
Reporters, they didn't want anything out. So if that was in place, no one would have heard anything across the board.
So you can have explosions all over your own area, and you're not going to hear about it unless you'd actually hear the explosion. Yeah, we've cancelled our TV license years ago.
about 6 or 7 years ago, wasn't it?
They're doing that here, even on the internet. It is dangerous, and it's the only way we're going to find out things is through independent people who are putting things out on
Conversations
YouTube
like this. Yeah.
How long before?
Has anyone heard of this happening anywhere else?
But going back to like the fracking site when we were protesting at the fracking.
See, Ellen's saying actually they are doing that here, even on the internet. So in which way, Ellen? Where are you, Ellen? I'm trying to remember where Ellen is. Yeah, I know it's America.
Kentucky, was it?
Are you in Kentucky, Ellen? Are you near Tessie?
Stephanie, don't be looking at the BBC. They're one of the worst ones.
You can't. People have to choose for themselves.
As you say, you take to miss out on the BBC stories. But like going back to the fracking site, when news wouldn't get out there, anything that had happened, any live streamers...
Well, they wouldn't cover it, would they?
Yeah, the news wouldn't cover it, mainstream news wouldn't cover it. But anybody that was there independently, live streamers or people that were making films, would get targeted straight away by the police.
Then they take the phone and dispose of the video.
They get arrested, bailed away, and they'd always go for the live streamers or anyone that had a camera.
Yeah. That's when I had to step up and become a live streamer, then to replace other people that are being removed. Yeah. And I'd never recorded anything. I didn't have a phone for over 2 years. Suddenly got a phone and started live streaming straight away. Yeah.
And that's what they want. They don't want the news to get out there. That's it. You can rely more on YouTube than you can on the news on the telly.
But you still have to be careful because...
Still do research.
Was there anything that stuck out in particular? Have you gone through what was on your list?
So it's open to everyone now.
Boring bloody BBC. This is what Trudeau needs and wants. It's what they're all after.
They're all power drunk. They just want as much power as
it's hard to know who to believe, isn't it? You know, even on the truther circuits, really, and you can have famous people pretending to be truthers, and you can have this one suddenly coming out, and then next minute everyone's pointing the finger and saying that person's a shill and this, that, and the other. It's so hard. All you can do is listen, evaluate it, and decide what you think yourself. And it's hard not to be swayed.
What makes the most sense?
You've got to think, what does make sense? Who's trying to get a reaction out of you? You know, you've got to be able to go away, calmly think about it and think, well, to what am I reacting? And where's my reaction going to take me? What am I going to get from reacting like that? So you have to sit and assess everything. Some of it can be quite depressing. Some of it can be quite frightening. So you've got to give yourself breaks from learning some of the information and taking it all in.
And then try and do research and find it from different places. And
sadly, you become numb to certain stuff because you don't see it as a reality, do you? You see it as research, and you kind of departmentalize and put it in research boxes. We were doing that for many, many years, and now these things are coming into reality, and it's in our lifetime. It's like we're unpacking those boxes, making them reality now, isn't it? It's weird.
That's it. We always say we've got no conspiracy theories left because they've all come true.
You said you have a class to show how you can your pressure cooker. Tell us more. Thanks for asking that, Anne. Yeah, so one of the pantries my friend Carol and I go to on a Friday, we're actually able to take 10 items for a cost of £2.50. It's a pantry. And we get tins and packets, etc. Bottle of washing up liquid. I pay for cattle on that day because cattle takes me shopping for the rest of the week. So that's my petrol money contribution. Just £2.50 for her taking me out 2 or 3 days. So that's really cheap for petrol. It helps cattle out tremendously. And we got our extra bits that day. But you'll see Mr. Wallflowers made the curry recently. That come in the £1 bag with the recipe that comes with it. We actually purchased that at that pantry. And approximately once a month when we go, you can smell the aromas walking through the door. One lady will be actually cooking a meal. So, for instance, last time it was the curry. So she had all the cookers set out and the wok and all the ingredients. And then there were several bags placed along the tables with the recipes in. And she'd give you a bowl of this food to taste it. And if you liked it and you could afford to purchase the bag, then you purchase the bag, take that home and make it. So in that room where the lady cooks the meal and they sell the £1 bags, they've asked me, would I book in? So mine's different. The lady who does the cooking meals, people can pop in, get a bowl of food, taste it, buy a bag, and they're out within a minute or two, and it's a steady flow of people coming through.
Good morning, Eileen.
Obviously, when you're canning, you can literally only do it once because it could take me up to an hour to do the canning process or half an hour, etc. So I can only do it one time. So mine's a class situation. So they'll set the chairs out, and a week prior, they'll tell everyone there's a lesson, a community lesson if you'd like to enjoy, and it'll be between the hours 11 and 12. So I've not written it all out what I'm going to say yet. I do still need to work on that, but I'm going to take the dehydrator and I'm going to take the canner, some of the jars, and I'm going to do potatoes there for the class. So I'll talk them through how to can the potatoes, the costs of it. I have actually water bathed potatoes previously. They've been on the shelf and they've been fine for me to eat. So I'll talk them through the water bath situation, how to place a tea towel on the bottom of the saucer, tell them how I've done it, and they can purchase proper jars. But I've been able to do it in shop-bought jars, recycled jars. I will be showing them how to dehydrate, showing them the jar vacuum sealer, and bags, etc. And just talking them through basic preserving of food.
You're going to do butter?
I won't have time to do that.
You say butter?
Butter. I won't have time to make butter, Ellen. She always says she loves the way I say butter. But yeah, if the lesson goes well, then I'd like to go back and do different lessons in the future. So who knows, I might make butter for them in the future.
Oh, we might just keep saying butter, butter, butter.
Butter, 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 butter. But yeah, hopefully if they invite me back, or another one of the vendors invite me, it's something I really would enjoy doing. Even cooking a meal for them and teaching how to do certain things. Yeah,
educating people, seeing what can be done. Yeah, welcome, Ari, and I think you're the first one we've got from the Philippines. She's Sunday morning, 6:15. She's watching.
Wow.
In the Philippines.
Wow. Welcome, Eileen. Where's that?
You just missed it.
I can't even get the mouse to work.
It's gone.
Wow, it's great. Your hair is growing. Yeah. I had a trim. Brian's. I had a trim not so long ago, but it's growing again. It grows like wildfire. It doesn't stop. It's nice and fluffy now at this stage. Really
it's
soft.
not as spiky.
Yeah, it goes coarser after a while, doesn't it? He's had a lovely soak with his Valentine's bath bomb tonight, haven't you?
Oh, Phil, you're only coming here now. Has he got a note? Did he pass a note in?
He didn't pass a note to me.
Mm.
It's
been noted.
USB returning in from Hawaii. Well. Nice one.
We always watch the space thing from Hawaii, don't we? What's that?
Oh yeah, it's like in a cafe or a restaurant or something.
No, it's the space. They're looking up into
when it turns round and you can see if it's
the Hawaii Space Monitoring Center or the observatory.
That's it. Yeah, we've watched that for a while. Yeah.
You see the laser beam going up into the sky and it's turning round.
Well, it was Gina Gina got us onto that. And there was another one. Where was the cafe one with the sky?
That was where was that? Was that Hawaii?
I'm sure that was Hawaii.
Or it might be Puerto Rico or somewhere like that.
You see what Ellen's put?
Don't be encouraging at all.
Nobody knows that, Ellen. That's only on the members page. Spilling the beans. Mary Ann makes Brian finish chores before she finishes haircut and shave.
Oh, he left with a mohican.
We made a special video just for the members on the members page, just as a special thank you for joining the membership. And I'd shaved Mr. Wallflower's hair. He desperately needed it at the time. And I slipped in.
So you I
wasn't going to cut his hair unless he'd finished his chores. I'm your wife, not your mother.
Oh, Phil's going to bring a note next week.
No problem, Ellen. I'm only teasing. We got the list of the members that we need to give a shout out to. Thank you so much, Ellen, for reminding us to do the membership shout out. I've not actually done it yet. So big hello to all our members. So we've got Linda Jacko, Mother Wolf, Ellen Fisher, Gaz Gazia. Thanks for renewing, Gaz. Maxine Ray, Anne Lockie, Deborah Barnes, Nina Moir Blue Nines, and Bridget from a BBC, a different BCTV, a different videographer with opinions. Thank you to all our members. Thank you for everyone for renewing. Thank you so much.
Purchase gifts for us off the wish list as well.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. I mentioned that earlier. It's so amazing to take the parcel in and then the wonderment of opening and not knowing what's inside. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, Ellen's given all the secrets away.
What was that? The Mohican was so funny. You should have kept it for the live.
Hello from Oklahoma. The Little Red House on the Plains. We used to watch that program, didn't we, years ago?
That was Little House on the Prairie.
It was some on them lines anyway.
Yeah. We loved that, didn't we?
Little House on the Prairie.
Laura Ingalls. I was Mary. I was always the Mary Ingalls. Not just because it was the same name. I liked Mary Ingalls. It was written by Laura, wasn't it? 64, single person with disability. I'm a supporter of different blogger here and abroad. Nice to meet you. God bless. Fabulous signing. Thanks for being with us, love.
Just glad you all enjoy.
Pam's got the wooden spoon encouraging Ellen to tell more secrets. Hush, Tessie, Ellen, keep on talking. Tell us more.
Yeah, the Waltons as well, guys.
Night, Jambai.
Yeah.
Night, Mary Ellen. It's always a Mary somewhere, isn't there?
We didn't get many American programs, did we, in the 70s? We loved them all. Starsky and Hutch.
Soap.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah, soap.
What do you guys think of the 15-minute city nonsense? Do you think it would be tolerated? I hope people buy angle grinders and pinball guns. Just not including people to be nice. Absolutely diabolical. A lot of the people are saying that how can it be carbon related, climate change related, when the system that they're preventing them from using in the 15-minute city, that they're having to go all the way around the world to do a one journey, either to go to the school, the shops, to go to work, etc., come back or go to a friend's, and the journey's taken twice as long, using twice as much fuel, keeping the car on the road, etc. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is, it's all very well them starting and saying you can leave 100 times a year, and then does that get reduced because they want to reduce this carbon to zero carbon?
Well, they're flying around the world.
How can you reduce carbon? We actually need to increase carbon.
Carbon's good for
everything's upside down and back to front. These people who are trying to make us non-human, that are acting non-human, are telling us to reduce carbon. We are carbon. We need carbon. Carbon is existence. We need to increase carbon, not decrease it. It's absolute ludicrous what they're trying to impose. It is depopulation, really. It is depopulation. If you reduce the carbon so much, how are we going to exist? We need more carbon. Diabolical.
At least we're onto them.
Night, Gina. Thanks for coming, love.
Yeah, thanks.
A complete dictatorship over each of power, completely and utterly. No, none of it makes sense. Theo, I had to look up the world that you wrote, actually.
It's just money, money, money. The more they can make, the more they're happy with.
We are the carbon they want to decrease. Exactly. We need more carbon, not less.
Cat Weasel, remember?
Yeah, the wrestler.
No, it was a program called Cat Weasel.
Oh no, I remember Cat Weasel, the wrestler. Didn't he have rope around his thing?
Yeah, that was like him in the program, wasn't it?
It's all about money. Follow the money. That's it. I'm losing the plot with all the crazy things going on. Let's take a step back and refresh yourself, get you back to where you need to be, positive, and then if you still want to keep going, come back with a refreshed state of mind.
Pam's trying to get Ellen to spill the beans here.
Again? What was she saying?
She's saving up for the membership, but she wants Ellen to spill the beans.
Plant more trees. There, I've solved the problem. These alphabet governments want us to. Well, I'll tell you what.
That's all you need to do. Plant more trees. Isn't it?
Welcome to Wallflower. Oh, welcome, Denise. Thank you so much.
You get to know all the secrets.
Welcome to the membership. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we are, Ellen. Another one. Fabulous. I forgot what I was going to say then. Yeah, get these elites to stop you planes, trains, automobiles, boats, etc. Give them to us. We can only afford to have 2 weeks off work or 3 weeks off work if we're lucky. So.
We can't even afford to run our luxury yacht now, can we? It's just in the back garden there, tied up.
Oh, we wish.
Where's Ulgummich?
When they were a kid. Cat Weasel was the chrome one. Where's Ulgummich? Oh, it's nice. Ellen, Anne's welcoming Denise as well. Yeah. That's lovely.
Thank you for joining. So, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, we've got approximately half an hour left. So plenty of very intelligent millionaires are onto this global tax garbage. People. There's always people working in the background trying to look at the legal dimensions and the legal system, how to fight it. But it's having the support to be able to bring that forward. I know Joe Boyd quite a few years ago, and Joe Corrie, Vivienne Westwood's son, they both stepped forward to fight the court case against Jim Radcliffe.
The richest man in Britain.
The man in Britain was Jim Radcliffe from INEOS. And basically INEOS were the ones that were doing the fracking company for Barton Moss in Manchester.
For everyone.
And it was a different company in PNR though, wasn't it? That was
Igas in Barton Moss, and it was Quadrilla in Preston New Road. But what are they? INEOS are like the biggest
conglomerate of them.
And they're the big plastic producers as well.
Ian R. Crane was fabulous, Stephen, yes. So Ian and a group of people and a barrister supported the two Joes, gathered the information, gathered the legal information. Lots of people raised money to pay for it. Joe Corrie had one of the cases to fight, and Joseph
Boyd
brought
the injunction in to stop people coming out to demonstrate against what he was doing.
And Joe Boyd had 4 parts of the case to fight, and they won. They won. You know, they just got informed 2-3 weeks ago. It was the Kill the Bill. And they won against the richest man in Europe, Jim Radcliffe. And Joe got a letter. Joseph Boyd is a friend of ours, and he got a letter a few weeks ago. Now, although this case was won just over 2.5 years ago, they've never been forced to make the payment.
Was it for costs? They could have still had to pay costs even though they won, but they got cleared of paying costs, so Jim Radcliffe's had to pay for it.
It was something like £8,000 now, you know, to a millionaire, to a guy with that amount of money. It's not much money, but the actual thing that he lost the case and he's been informed, pushed to pay it, is the win. And it's a legal case now, and everything in the future will be compared to Jim Radcliffe versus Joe Boyd, Joe Corrie, you know, on the thing. Absolutely fantastic. But although he was a very intelligent lad of himself, he had the backing of the other guys behind him, such as Ian Crane, Elspeth McRoberts, Benjamin, and all the others. A fabulous team behind them and the legal team.
He helped us a lot.
Joe had no property and he had no assets. So basically he could stand forward and he could do it because he had nothing to lose. Now, had he owned a property or if he had assets and they lost, all of those would have been wiped from him. So he was able to step forward into those shoes and do it. Now, I'm sure Joe Corrie would have had assets.
Yeah.
So if he'd have lost, you know, being Vivienne Westwood's son, a career of his own, I'm sure he would have had some assets behind him.
And Tessie was asking, is there any mobile homes there? Do people live in mobile homes? Yeah, we do.
People do, but they're not like, now forgive me if this terminology isn't right, but they're not like the big trailers we see a lot of people have.
They are like holiday parks. They have people live on like holiday parks in caravans and stuff.
They don't own like an acre of land, or they don't own a piece of land of their own and live in a caravan or in a trailer of sorts, a mobile home. They don't do it that way like a lot of people in America do, or Canada, etc. They live in a holiday park. Some of them live there all year round. Some of them just live there summertime. or keep them as holiday homes.
But they are just as dear as a house, or.
But they're not as big.
No, but the rents are just the same.
Yeah.
And we don't have Amish or Mennonites here that we know of.
Not that we know of, Amish or Mennonite. I don't know of any. I have seen, I don't know where we went. I don't know if it was Alton Towers a few weeks ago or whatever. Not a few weeks ago, a few years ago. A few weeks ago. Yeah, my dreams.
That was on...
the guys with the two ringlets and the black hat.
Jewish.
They're Jewish. So I've seen the guys with the ringlets, just two singular ringlets.
And there's loads of Jewish in Manchester.
The black hats and that. Like that. Yeah, but I don't know of Mennonite or Amish at all, no.
We have like the...
What's the name? Jane. Sibby's mum. Indigo Traveller. I've shared her videos to the community page. Indigo Traveller lives in a caravan, a mobile home, and she lives in Scotland. And at the moment, she's been living in that and working from that, basically off-grid, working part-time, maintaining herself in a mobile home. And she is Indigo Traveller. And
but she's like on a site, isn't she?
Yeah, she's not long just hit over 1,000 subs on her channel, and she's a lovely lady. And I have shared her on the community page not long after Christmas.
It's called living in a caravan. Somebody lives in a caravan. It's not called like a mobile home sort of thing.
Yeah, we call it just living in a caravan.
A mobile home is one on wheels, and like a caravanette, as they say. Or... Hi, Sally.
Thank you, here. Tessie. She's a lovely lady.
Sally Vlogs is new here.
Oh, welcome, Sally.
Does she need a caretaker?
In a caravan? Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't have wanted to be there when she was cold and when all the snow came.
When it was ice, though.
Poor girl, honest to God, she was absolutely frozen and she couldn't work either.
When you go on our page, it'll have what will it say?
So when you come to the video listings on the front page of the channel, Wallflowers UK, there's some tabs across the top, so it'll say home, videos, playlists, live, and then it'll say community. And so if you just click on the community, then it'll take you to the community posts, and I think we share there. And also there's a membership one, so that'll bring up all the membership posts, but you can only go into that if you're a member. And then there's an about section at the end, and that'll give you a description of who we are, what we do as a channel, and a couple of links at the bottom. Hi, Juicy J.
Hiya. Where have you been? Do you have tiny homes there?
Yes, compared to America or other countries. I mean, we've been to America and stayed in American houses. The space is fabulous, you know. We've really enjoyed that.
Welcome, Assad.
As a couple, this is our second home since we've been married for 23 years. And the homes are quite small. What size footage would you say the lounge is?
Well, 15. Not 15 by 15, I think it is.
15 by 15 for a lounge room.
I mean, ours is quite big. There are smaller houses, but there are bigger houses.
In comparison to other countries, it's quite small. What would you say the kitchen was?
The kitchen's not very big. It's about 10 foot by 5, 6. No, maybe 8.
Yeah, park homes, that's more of a description. That's how people live in caravans or mobile homes.
Do we live near Brookside Close? Where's Brookside Close?
We live in Jimmy's house. You deserved it, love. Not far. Not far.
Yeah, we're about half an hour away from Brookside.
Different county, but not far.
I don't think super tiny homes. I mean, there are super tiny probably somewhere, but not as a rule. Proper mining cottages are really small now.
The cottages are always small, aren't they, here?
I mean, we've got a couple of cottages surrounding us. Our houses were built in between like cottages because we live in a mining town.
It's basically a cottage style house what we live in, isn't it?
Yeah. You really want
what part of Scotland, Jen, do you see? My park home is 650 square feet, 2 bedrooms, lounge, dining room. Wow. Is that big? Sounds big to me.
650 square foot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a long caravan,
I have
isn't
4-bedroom council house. It's plain, nothing fancy. 2 closets in the whole house. My lounge is 10.5 by 23. My kitchen is 10 by 10. I have a downstairs toilet. Feels like a small.
So as you're saying, how far do you live from houses with land? Only like a mile away, up in the hill there.
Yeah.
Up in the Beacon, there's £1 million, £2 million houses, loads of land. But most of them are like racehorse owners and trainers, and that's where they've made the money.
Or 5 miles away.
Yeah, Beacon.
Yeah.
Miles. 1 or 2 miles away.
Yeah. Yes, please. Just depends what direction we go. Go to. Yeah.
There's plenty of money around.
The greenhouse that we lost last year or so, we got that given to us about 8 years ago, and it was taken from one of these houses on the land that you're talking about, not far away. And her property was just under £3 million with the land, and she was going through a divorce and was about to sell it, so she was removing things that she didn't want to leave on the land to advertise for sale, so she could take all the pictures and get the money. And although it was worth over £3 million, she was advised to just ask for 1.5 at that stage, and she refused to. So she was doing the maintenance and making the property look as good as she could, because she wanted to get truer value for it. Well, yeah, there's some very expensive properties not far from where we live. People with completely different lifestyles. There are council properties not even 5 minutes away where people just live in 1-bedroom flats. We're kind of like in a mixed community setting. We've got rural in one direction where we can just go into the countryside and go walking for quite a few hours, or we can be right in the middle of concrete city, or right in the middle. It just depends what direction we go to. And if we go by road, we can go to several different places. We're really in a good position, I find. Yeah, mixed housing. That's a nice way of putting it, Bridget. I didn't see it like that. Okay, Stephen, see you next week, love. Lovely to see you. My dad was a policeman, and when I was small, we went to a village in 67, Village Bobby, great place. It was, and even had its own station next to the house. Hi, Canada girl. An average 3-bedroom family home in Southern Ontario region here in Canada has now reached $1 million cost. Doesn't need to be a mansion anymore. Wow. So it's just good real estate where it is. Yeah, optimum land.
Well, that's what's happening here. A lot of people from the south, where it's really expensive for houses, are selling up and coming up here and buying a bigger house up here for a lot less money.
And plus, they've built an awful lot of cheap housing lately as well, haven't they? They look grand, they look brand new, they look really nice, but you can tell they've knocked them up in no time, and there's not been a vast investment on it. They've just grabbed the land and built, haven't they?
No, but if you've got a flat in like London and you can sell that for 200,000, you can get a big massive house up here for 200,000. Whereas they're in a flat down there.
Well, them new houses that they've knocked up in no time, what are you saying they're going for now?
They're going for 180 to 200,000.
And they're virtually on the doorstep. Yet our houses are totally well built and they're not even worth half that. They weren't thrown up in 2 minutes. These are long sustaining, solid houses. Been here since
the 50s.
At least. Exactly, Yolanda. We do. We just need to keep talking, be assertive and persistent, as you say, but always keeping it polite and on point. We are North, Anne.
I think it's the same. Have you heard the same?
That's it.
Same
the grass isn't green, is it?
People from Amsterdam can sell detached houses and then buy a farmhouse over there.
I know you've got to know the system and what else you're paying for and the laws and, even buying a farmhouse and then the laws of what animals you can have, what are you allowed to do to it?
Are you allowed to extend? Are you allowed to build? $500,000, aren't you? And they're only paying 70 cents a jar.
Welcome, Coco. 70 cents a jar.
There's jars in the Amish country. Gets 12 quart jars for $8.50.
Wow. I can hardly believe they're so expensive there. Yeah, they are really expensive here, Mary. And we, as I say, we've put them on the wish list, but if we buy them, we can get free delivery now. Only if we buy them from Amazon. If we buy them from anywhere else and we're getting them from America, Canada, etc., we have to pay shipping on it. So we're end up paying double the price because we've got to pay shipping on them as well because of the weight. So, I'm going to, somebody's pointed out a local shop called The Range. I'm going to go and have a look, see if I can purchase any from there. But otherwise, it's through Amazon or trying to look for some sales, really. We did try and suggest if anyone was able to find any and we'd agree to pay the shipping, but I can, that's a stress factor for some people to do that, and I don't wish to put people through stress, but somehow I need to try and build up my collection and work on how I'm going to do that. I've had hundreds of jam jars and different, recyclable jars. For me to actually dispose of them now and get rid of them before I can actually build up a collection of proper canning jars. So at the moment, I'm toying what do I do with the space? Where am I going to keep these? Because I can't get rid of the shop bought jars yet. So I'll get through it. I'll work it all out, and we'll eventually get there. It's just going to take me time how to build the collection up. Yeah.
Mother Wolf lives in a stone house built in the 1890s. But there's always something needs doing.
Yeah, I can imagine something leaking somewhere, some drafty doors. Oh, it sounds lovely. What part do you live in, Mother Wolf? I know where you are. What part?
I didn't know you were in Cumbria, Anne. Whereabouts in Cumbria are you?
Oh, right. I thought you were in America, Anne. Did you?
I thought it was somewhere over that way, Canada. Or...
Wow.
Yeah, the link for the wish list is in the About section.
Who's asking that?
Coco Noodle. Wilco have jars? Well, we bought 3 jars
Only
from Wilco.
if you can afford it, Coco. Who's saying about Wilco?
We said Wilco have jars. We bought 3 jars from Wilco.
But they're not lids and screw rings. They're just normal caps, normal screw tops. We're trying to build up a collection of canning jars, whether it's kilners, bowls, whatever. Celtic Forest Fairy. Some people have been saying we can possibly buy them in the range. As I say, we've looked at Wilco, and we're here in the UK. You sound Irish. Are you in Ireland or?
Mother Wilf lives by Cardiff.
Cardiff. I always do it. She probably gets annoyed by me doing it.
What's a Cairn?
Wow.
Anne lives by in Carlisle.
Oh, right.
So you're not far from the lakes then? Same as us? You're probably the same distance from the Lake District as us?
But she's lived in America.
Oh, cheers, guys. You don't have to do that, mate. Jars are coming your way soon.
Oh, he's just paid his membership as well. Can you recommend? Oh, missed that. The jar lids, the flat ones are fabulous. Get them in a pack of 100. Irish. I knew you would be. Celtic Forest Fairy. I could tell by the way you spelled fairy and then the 3-leaf clover afterwards. My dad was an Irishman. What part of Ireland are you from?
Mother Wolf saying she doesn't sound like she's from Cardiff. She's more Valley-ish. I thought they were all the same. All the accents are all the same.
Who's this, me or what's the kid?
Mother Wolf, yeah.
No,
she's saying she's not really Cardiff. She's more the Valleys.
A Valley girl, yeah.
But the accent's just the same.
Sounds lovely though, to have a country stone house there. Sounds fabulous.
People should advertise spare jars on that.
They should do, yeah. I actually thought if I get to a stage where I can replace what I've got, obviously I'd never dispose of what I've collected, but I'd put them on either Olio or the free sites on Facebook and just offer them up if anybody else wanted to use them. Because some of them I've had for quite a while, haven't I?
There's a British website that does killing and bowls.
That'd be good, Abigail, if you could share that with us. That'd be lovely.
Is that the Ukrainian one?
Killed
Can't read your name. Is it Kahan or?
My dad was from Dublin.
You're from the Ukraine. That's the same one. Yeah, we have yard sales, garage sales, car boot sales, but we don't come across cannon jars. And cannon's
just
not a big thing here.
Yeah. That your coat jacket, said in Welsh accent. That's your coat jacket. Do I sound Indian or Welsh?
That coat jacket. A bit of both. And that's it. Ask around for jars, but that's it. Not many people do cannon.
You just wouldn't get it, and the ones that do can, they're linked to them because they're struggling to get them themselves. There is a community growing slightly in the UK where more people are pressure canning, water bathing, dehydrating, but it was never really a thing. It wasn't something when I started out, I thought I was the only one. And gradually it's something, obviously other people were doing it. It's just I had never connected with anyone in the UK who was doing it. I was just following our American cousins and learning from them, and gradually now there are other communities and people doing it more and more. And I suppose it will grow, but not to the point where you're very lucky if you see a jar in a charity shop. You're very lucky if you see anything, It'll just be shop bought jars or what are those clip jars called? the German ones, you know.
They have like a clip, don't they? And a seal, a rubber seal.
We see them quite a bit. There is a name, I can't think what they're called. But you don't see anything that you can properly can with. Weck jars, that's the name, Little Red House.
Our postal address isn't in the about section, guys. Our email's there if you want to give us an email and we can give you our address.
Mix of everything, jars, bottles and equipment. Who's that, Abigail?
I think she was on about that site who does the kiln and ball jars.
And are the lids and rings, are they? Because you can get different types of kiln jars, can't you? Like that biscuit jar I just got, it was a glass lid and a suction. We couldn't can with it, could we?
We nearly picked up 3. What were they, kiln glasses, weren't they, with handles on?
There were 3 coloured jars, it said Kilner on them, 2 purple ones and like a reddy brown one. And there was no lids on them. And I said, Mr. Wallflower said to me, actually, I wonder if we put lids and a ring on that, you'd be able to can with it. And we ummed and ahed because the handles were on. And I thought, well, for 50p each, I'll try. And when we look closer, it said
it was imprinted on the glass.
It couldn't take boiling temperatures.
Do not put boiling water in.
So it's one of those fashion items, you know, where they had the hole in for the straw. We just thought we could have adapted it and put a ring and a lid on it, but not to be. It would have took extra space anyway on the shelf once you'd used it because of the handle on it.
And that's what we've done, Les. We've always used just ordinary jars, recycled jars for water bathing, but not for pressure canning.
I'm starting to learn how to can the old-fashioned way with the glass lids and the gaskets. That's where I'm working on some videos coming up. I'll look out for them, Tessie. Thank you. That'll be interesting. Looking for any way to learn, you know. That'd be great, though. And how easy are those jars to come across, Tessie?
I mean, their jars are easy to come across over there, though, aren't they?
They do make some kind of jars for canning. I just bought a case of them. Okay.
With the handles on?
I don't know if she just means the glass lid with the suction on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch out and look for that. That'll be really interesting. Thank you.
Anne's going to email some of the different jars she has. My son's English pattern happens to use ways of things. Your favourite is when he says, "Where to is it?" I've never heard anyone say, "Where to is it?"
Yes, Coco, I've watched quite a few of Mary's Nest, and she's lovely. Hi, friends. Yeah, she's lovely, and she does some great videos. Yeah. Really nice. Tessie, did you see the book I showed earlier? I don't know if you were still on, but it's an English one, obviously, but an old cookery book I found. Really well thumbed, a bit tattered and torn, but so interesting. And apparently it was a book that had come with a gas cooker, maybe in the 50s or 60s, and it was provided, but it's full of wonderful recipes. I just thought you'd really enjoy seeing that. And it's got the tabs on for different sections for me to go through. I'm going to learn so much from that book. I just thought you'd like to see it. Oh, sorry for repeating myself, but I knew it was something you'd join in with me and you'd enjoy to see. Yeah.
You always look better, the old cookbooks. Hi, Fiona. Joining from New Zealand.
Wow.
How can we protect ourselves from the police state?
Me too, lovely. I'll look forward to seeing your new style then. That'll be great. Right, so we've got the last 5 minutes.
Gary's saying, how can we protect ourselves from the police state?
It's so difficult because it's corporate
can't.
businesses. Just don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be out in the streets doing something stupid. Just look after yourself and keep yourself contained. It's, you know.
They're there to protect the corporates, not to protect the public.
Hello, friends. Blessings to clear water. It's beautiful here. Lovely. Sun is shining.
Clear water.
Yeah, me too, Ellen. Yeah.
Wish we were in Florida.
Enjoying the sunshine. We'll have it soon. We'll have the sun on our faces and it'll be absolutely wonderful. It's not long now. We're the last week in February.
Did you hear the 12-year-old who spoke at the Oxford protest? I didn't hear it. I seen it.
She was fabulous.
I didn't see the thing. I've seen the headline.
I got sent the video. A friend of mine sent me it and she was absolutely fabulous.
I've seen the pictures of it.
Well spoken. And whether she had written her own mother, I think that was a mother with her, or they'd done it together, but really well said. Yeah, brilliant.
Good night, guys.
Night, guys.
Catch you later, mate.
Good night, Mother Wolf. Good night, love.
Good night, Mother Wolf. Another one from the Philippines. They're all coming in now. Hi, Ambrosia.
Hi, love.
We've only got 5 minutes left. And thanks again, everyone, for coming in and joining us again.
Yeah.
Totally
we nearly
enjoyed
reached
it.
100 tonight.
Yeah. I think that's the most we've had on tonight.
So what we're going to do this week, depending on the weather, we might actually go tomorrow, but we're going to actually forage some wild garlic this week, aren't we, and bring it home. I'm not going to give you the next step of it. There's a few bits we're going to do with the wild garlic, but hopefully if the weather's nice, we'll go and pick some of that up tomorrow. We've normally gone by now and collected it, haven't we? Yeah. We're due some. So we'll go and get that tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget everyone, thumbs up.
See you soon, love. If everyone make sure they click like before they leave, we'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
Little house on the prairie, so Little red house on the plains.
Oh, thank you so much. Mary Ann and Mr. Wallflowers, Tessie, Ellen, Theo, and the rest of the family. I've got to jump off and charge my phone. Oh,
thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Pam. We'll see you soon, love. See you soon. Been very much fun and learn new things. Be back next week. Oh, good night, Shirley. Thanks for joining us, love.
And Little Red House on the Plain, you're always going to be known as Little House on the Prairie to us.
Where are you, Brenda? It can be quite scary the first time you go foraging, or the first few times, or learning new things. Don't pick anything if you're not sure of it. Don't eat anything if you're not sure of it. It has to be researched. But the wild garlic foraging, oh, we absolutely love it, don't we? And I say, we're not greedy. We just take what we can use. But we've got plans. Hopefully we can use a little bit more this year, can't we, and provide for the year. So
Little House on the Prairie saying the nearest neighbours 1.5 miles in either direction.
Wow. We'd quite enjoy that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah.
Thanks, Fiona. We will do. We'll enjoy it. It's like a little day out. A nice secluded spot, isn't it? It's beautiful.
I spotted snowdrops last week.
It's
all starting to come to life now.
Yeah, we've seen all the daffodils.
Yeah,
we're seeing crocuses everywhere. But I've still not seen a snowdrop this year.
No, I haven't you? But all the trees are budding and
yeah. But that's it. If they bud too soon and then the frosts come and then wipe that out.
Yeah. No neighbours coming knocking for sugar. We're surrounded by cotton and cattle. Sounds heaven.
Okay, so we're going to actually have to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for joining us. We've loved your company.
It's been brilliant again.
We'll make some videos during the week, and of course we'll rejoin you next Saturday, and hopefully we can have lots more topics to talk about.
With
Thanks
more
very
mad
much.
Things. What's going on in the world?
I don't know where this is. Oh, there is.
Okay,
Thanks very much.
Everyone.
Take care. Love you.
Love you.